The winner is Sidney Poitier.
The winner is Lou Gossett Jr.
Oh, the Oscar goes to I Love My Life, Denzel Washington.
And the winner is Monique. Impressions based on the novel Push by Sapphire.
Hello, I'm Sage Hewitt.
And I'm Crystal Wilson.
And welcome to our Film Critics show Real Talk. Today on Real Talk, we'll be discussing African American award-winning movies such as Lilies of the Field, An Officer and a Gentleman, Training Day, and Precious. But before we get into that, Crystal is going to give us a brief history of African Americans in winning awards for movies. Crystal?
Thank you. There's a striking diversity gap in the Academy Awards. Since the phenomenon began in 1927, a whopping 94% of Academy Award winners are Caucasian American. The leftover 6% was awarded to people of color, 4% African American, less than 2% Latino, and less than 1% Asian American. The Academy began to diversify the awards when Hattie McDaniel became the first African American to win an Oscar in 1940 for her supporting role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind. In 1963, Sidney Poitier became the first black man to win an Academy Award for the film Lilies of the Field. Since then, there has been 13 African Americans to take home the gold.
And since we're speaking of Sidney Poitier, that leads us into our first film of Lilies of the Field. It debuted in 1963, starring Sidney Poitier and directed by Ralph Nelson. It was about a nomad handyman by the name of Homer Smith, who comes to the rescue of 5 lonely nuns who want to build a chapel in the desert plains of Arizona. What did you think about the film, Crystal?
I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a cute little movie. Mother Mary, who was the head of the nuns, she believed that Homer was there, sent from God to help the nuns. And throughout the film, Homer continued to be a great help to the nuns, even though he didn't believe he was sent there for that. He ended up helping them to build the chapel, just as Mother Mary said. I liked it because it was warm-hearted. It was a family film. I also like the fact that Sidney Poitier won the Oscar for such an uplifting character. Yeah. He didn't have to defame his morals by playing a thug or a pimp. He was seen as honorable. And Homer, he was a dynamic character. He went from greedy to extremely generous through the course of this film.
See, normally for me, black and white movies bring me to a sleepy state of mind. But 2 things got my attention at this whole movie. One was the name Lilies of the Field, actually, which is a Bible verse. And the other one was Sidney Poitier being in it, because I love Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
I just like looking at him too. But going back to the name of it, there was a scene where Mother Mary and Homer Smith were in a Bible verse match off, if you want to say it like that. And pretty much Smith had did some work for Mother Mary, and he was saying, okay, well, now you need to pay me. So he quoted a verse from Luke, and see, that to me was relatable, because when I need money, I ask my dad for some, and if he says no, I'll go straight to the Bible. I might say something from Proverbs. I might say something from Job. And it works sometimes. But but who could say no to a Bible verse?
Yeah.
But anyways, also, Sidney Poitier, his past characters, I like a lot. And it really made the movie for me, because he brings out the best in people pretty much. So you have East German nuns that endured like climbing over the Berlin Wall, and then you have a black man who's Baptist who just got out the military, and he's just looking for jobs and stuff like that to get money. And they somehow mesh together, and I think is one of the scenes that helped that out, or with what I'm saying is when Homer Smith was starting to build the chapel, and he's giving Mother Mary the okay sign, and Mother Mary's like, okay, but it's like, oh wait, what am I doing? I don't do this. I don't normally do this. So again, he brings out the best in people, like hidden personalities, and they don't even clash. It's just like you being with them for a certain amount of time makes it better. Also, I never really seen a movie based on religious backgrounds coming together. Normally, it's just like colors, people of different colors coming together. That's why I think that's what really intrigued me as well, because you never seen a movie like that from the 60s throughout or through on. You know what I'm saying? But and it's also a movie where black people aren't oppressed, and you know the white supremacy continues. So yeah, that's another reason why I enjoyed this movie.
Okay. I definitely enjoyed this film as well. I agree with what you were saying, where Sidney Poitier just brings out the best in people, and his acting capability was so great that when he was teaching the nuns how to sing, when they sung Amen, and he was doing a little dance, I thought it was so cute. Like,
Amen. 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 Sing it over. Amen.
I laughed and was smiling the whole time. I definitely believed that he deserved the Oscar for this film because he showed multiple emotions throughout the movie. He would go from extremely happy to sad in 0.3 seconds. His acting was so good that his facial expressions would tell it all sometimes. So, yeah.
And you know what else? It's kind of like a prerequisite to Sister Act in a way, because you have strange man coming to nuns, helping the nuns out, and then you get the community involved as well, because you know Mother Mary had put in requests for people to come and help and ask for more money and materials, but no, they just said no. And then you have Homer come in, and then when you see what he's done for them, oh, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, we're gonna put our time and effort in this. Just like when Whoopi Goldberg came in. So yeah, like Sister One, Act 1 and 2, I believe. So yeah, that's what I thought about it.
That's a great comparison. I never even thought about comparing Lilies of the Field to Sister Act, but they do compare. They're very compatible. I like that connection.
Just a little bit.
I also like the fact that he showed off his singing capability a little bit. That showcased his multiple talents. I think that could have got him the Oscar too.
I agree. He did a great job. He deserved his award. He did.
Yes.
Now, Training Day. Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke team up to star in Antoine Fuqua's 2001 fast-paced action hit Training Day.
In the next 24 hours, you will learn about the streets, about the choices that will force a dedicated cop over the edge, all in the name of good. In the next 24 hours, the only thing more dangerous than the line being crossed.
Today's a training day, Officer Hoyt. It's your chance to give you a little taste of reality. You think you can handle it?
Is the cop who has crossed it.
I will do anything you want me to do.
I think overall Training Day was a great movie, considering that I never seen it. Yes, I know I need my black card revoked. I'm sorry. But, but you know, I'll give it a 8 out of 10. Now, I honestly think that Ethan Hawke's character, Jake Hoyt, I think he made the movie for me because me and him were in the same boat. So, I'm not going to spoil the whole movie for everybody, but Ethan Hawke's character was pretty much set up. And he was set up based off his naive. Is naiveness a word? It's not a word.
Naivete. I think that's how you would say it.
Because he didn't have knowledge of what was going on, and I didn't have knowledge of what was going on, we was both set up together. So it's like, so it was like, oh, okay. I felt like I was in the movie myself. So I felt like I was in the back of the car watching everything happen. And then when he got set up, I got set up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, snap. What's going to happen? Oh, gosh.
I agree completely. I felt like I was in the movie too. Like, yeah, I think that's giving credit to the cinematography because I remember one scene where when he was about to smoke, and he was like, no, I don't want to smoke because, you know, I'm going to be a police officer. And then Alonzo was like, yeah, just do it. Yep. So he stops the car in the middle of traffic. And that shot selection was very impactful to me because I noticed that it went outside the car. Then the camera swung to the window. Then you saw a close-up of the gun being pulled out. Then you saw a two-shot of him aiming at Hoyt. And then it went back outside the window to Hoyt's facial expression like, what's going on? You know, that it made it very suspenseful. I think the cinematography was great.
Just like Serpico. Don't
Yes.
the cuts and stuff.
Yes, just like Serpico. This movie did remind me of that, especially towards the end when he wouldn't accept the dirty money. I was like, that's Serpico right there.
It seems just like all the cop movies have to have one dirty cop, a whole bunch of dirty cops, one honest one, and then the honest one gets the boot in the end.
Yes.
So, but I think the storyboarding was executed very well in the movie, and I think that's what made me give it a 8 out of 10. So yeah.
Okay, yes, I thought it was a great movie as well. Suspenseful, action-packed. There were funny moments with Denzel Washington, and he provided an excellent performance. I also think the cinematography was on point. Like I was saying earlier, they had multiple shots of short but variety cut. You know, I like that. Some semiotics that I pointed out in the film was the depictions of Alonzo's character. I saw that he wore all black. This was a symbol of the hidden, a symbol of secrecy. You know, what's in the dark will come to the light kind of thing. Also, he drove an all-black Monte Carlo like a gangster. I also noticed some of the Spanish people he was riding by had the exact same car, which shows that he's kind of in the streets. He also calls the car his office. This said a lot to me because if the car is his office, that shows the lack of his use in the department because he's working alone in his car. He's not a team player.
Right, he wants to do things his own way,
by
on his
himself.
own time. Yep. And that's why he set up young Jake.
Yeah. But it was a great movie. I think he deserved the Oscar 100%.
I agree. I always love watching Denzel Washington movies, so I think he always gets what he deserves. Pretty much.
An Officer and a Gentleman was directed by Taylor Hackfield, starring Richard Gere, Deborah Wanger, and the award winner Louis Gossett Jr. It was filmed in 1982. Out of the four movies we screened, I favored this the least, honestly. I'm a romantic, so I enjoyed the love story, but I just don't think that Louis Gossett Jr. put on an Academy Award-winning performance. I mean, seeing that he played a military sergeant, there wasn't really room for him to show a great deal of emotion and transform. There was only there were no points, I'm sorry, where I felt he showed emotion. He had the same tone of voice the entire time, just yelling, you know, like sergeants do, yelling at everyone and belittling people kind of. I think anyone could have played this part. I mean, Damian Wayans played a convincing sergeant. So you see, it's just not that much depth in that persona.
So I'm gonna have to disagree and agree on you. I mean, you know, sergeants aren't supposed to have melodic tones and stuff. So, but I'm going to agree with you on the romantic part. I'm not a romantic person unless it's like a romantic comedy, but I think the romance part just brought the movie down. I mean, I know it's what it's supposed to be based off with, like, you know, romance, and then you have gossip with the action, but I think it would have been way better without the romance.
Yeah.
But I believe that An Officer and a Gentleman was a realistic movie to me, and it should have been more formalistic because in formalistics, the emotions could be edited to like have a juxtapositional editing. So, you know, like in Serpico with the different cuts we was talking about earlier, I feel like the emotion was fake in the movie. So I think that if they showed like eyes, body parts, hands, and other actions that they were doing instead of just full lengthy clips, I think it would have been a little bit better for me.
I think so too. I think that would have added some suspense or something. Because
Yeah.
like we're saying in Training Day, they kind of use that kind of technique to create, you know, great cinematography. But I think the long, drawn out scenes, like you were saying, it made it pretty dull.
There's no mystery behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for mystery in a movie.
The whole movie didn't pick up until Lewis came into the scene.
Exactly.
It was, it was quite dull. Overall, do you believe Louis Gossett Jr. deserved the Oscar?
Absolutely. He played his part like no other. But like you said, I can see Damon Wayans, you know, playing this part. But the difference is Damon Wayans was funny, and you know, he's a comedian, so I'm expected to laugh at him. But Gossett, he had me like kind of scared to be in the Navy. I don't even want to be in the Navy, but he just had me like frightened the way he was yelling and all those techniques, like when he was spraying the hose on him and he had to go up and down. That's not the life for me. But I believe that he deserved his Academy Award because he proved at that moment that you can be an African American and not play a sharecropper. You don't have to play a basketball player. You don't have to play a singer or be a black stereotype to get your 15 minutes, 15 seconds, 15 years of fame. And I'm just really happy that he was able to be nominated and he was able to receive that award and prove that you ain't got to go ahead and do monkey walks and be a coon on set.
Very true.
I'm just saying.
True,
But, you know, altogether, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 only because the scenes that I liked the most was with Gossett, and the romance just blew it out the water for me.
Yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 10 as well because it was just dull too much of the time. Yeah, like you were saying, if Gossett wasn't in it, it wasn't hitting on anything.
Exactly.
Yes, but we're going to finally wrap everything up with Lee Daniels' 2009 hit drama starring Monique and Gabourey Sidibe in Precious. Let's take a look at this clip.
You're a dummy. Don't nobody want you. Don't nobody need you. School ain't gonna help none. Take your ass down to the welfare.
Precious was based off the novel Push by Sapphire, and it was directed by Lee Daniels. I have seen this movie at least 5 times, and every time I seem to pick out something different. I liked how emotional and how dramatic this film is. The comedian actress Monique, she won Best Supporting Actress for her role as Mary. And I think that she definitely deserved that because she acted so well. Like, I felt sad for her. Like, I almost wanted to cry. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so dramatic. This is intense. That's what I kept thinking throughout the whole film. This is intense. And the scenes where Monique was in, I noticed it seemed the most intense.
I agree. See, I'm not used to seeing, like you said, Monique playing this part because, you know, she's a well-known comedian. The movies and TV shows like Fat Girls and the Parkers and Hair Show, she's known for being funny. She's known for being the uplifting, positive, hey, we can get through this type person. But in Precious, she's playing a mother who beats her kid, ridicules her, and puts on a front for other people so that way it seems like she's doing good and so she can get her welfare check. So she's looking out for number one and the number one's not her daughter. So I had a huge problem with that. But I've seen the movie like 4 or 5 times myself, and like you, I've seen something different in each one. And I think about the 5th time I saw it, it was the scene with Mariah Carey as the social worker and Precious and her mom. And Precious and her mama have not seen each other in like some months. And I think that was the highlight of the whole movie for me. Not because it was at the end, but I just like it. But it showed how two-sided or two-faced Monique was. And to this day, I'm not really sure if she meant that, you know, she really wants to see Precious, or she really wants to get her welfare check. Like, to this day, I'm still kind of puzzled by it. But she goes on to say, like, you know, Precious was born in the summer, and you remember that's how Miss Johnson's son got killed and stuff like that. And then Precious goes, I was born in November. So, you know, you know absolutely nothing about your daughter, but you want her back in your life for what? To get money? Right, exactly. Or to hurt her more? Like, you're not doing anything but bringing her down. But overall, I think the movie is very relatable. I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of 16-year-olds or even people older that know about abuse from, like, parents or from other people. The casting was good. I can't think of anybody who could play the role Monique did. I really honestly cannot think of anybody else. And everything was great. I'm not gonna say it's flawless, but it was put together so well.
Yeah, I definitely think Monique just did an awesome job. Like you were saying, I never thought that I would get this kind of performance from a comedian. You know, she, to me, the Oscar-winning moment was when the teacher had just left their apartment, and she had sat down and she was calm, and then she thought about, I could tell she was thinking about what just happened and got mad. And I think that's what was good acting, because she didn't say anything. She just sat down, kind of looked around, and then she just got up and was mad. I remember she kicked something. She yelled Precious' name a couple times. It was just very dramatic. I could see the anger on her face, and I feel like that was head-to-toe acting.
All right, well, that wraps things up on our show, Real Talk. I'm your host, Sage Hewitt.
And I am Crystal Wilson.
And we thank you for joining us. Please see you again next time.